Hello and welcome to Open School of Business. Today I have a pleasure to introduce you to my longtime friend, exceptional businesswoman and a mom of three. She is the founder and a leader of a growing Hestia Realtors enterprise. Her name is Maria Fernanda Delgado. She's bringing over 18 years of experience in real estate arena, has masters of science in computer science, and has been working as an IT project manager in the beginning of her career. Today, I am so thrilled to have a conversation with her because I know that she can tell us all about how to build a business from scratch, how to change industries, and also raise a family as a single mom. So without further ado, welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Anad. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk. I know you are doing wonderful things with the podcast, so I'm more than happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, I think it's such a great opportunity for us to end this year of podcasting with this final interview right after Thanksgiving to give people a good inspiration for the next 2021 as a business owner. So, Maria, what were your first challenges when you started your own business, and how did you solve them?
So basically, I am in the real estate industry, and I was already a realtor for almost 15 years. And one day I realized that it's been a while. I didn't have the need to knock on my broker for questions or for information or for advice. Then I realized that it was time for me to be independent and become a broker. And the first challenge I got is obviously, how am I going to do it? Because I've been going through the highs and the lows of real estate. I went through 2008, the real estate crash. So my challenge was to realize, am I going to make it or not? Once I passed that threshold, I just executed the plan. So it took me about a year to actually go from the beginning until I really opened up the company, the brokerage company.
Yes, and what was the most difficult thing in starting up in real estate business? Because you came from a different background and you worked in a corporate world for many years. And here you are, you started as a real estate agent. I'm sure a lot of your knowledge and your background has helped, but what were some of the things that you had to learn from scratch, and what were the strategies you used to learn these things?
Well, I have changed by choice sometimes and by circumstances. I had to change careers. And basically, I moved from being an IT person, loving so much my work and my job as a computer science technician, basically, talking to a computer. All of the sudden, under the circumstances I was living back in 2002, I had to become a people's person, to be in front of people, to understand that selling a house, it's really up to them to like it and to feel it. It was that emotional thing that almost for a year, for me, it was a little bit challenging, because I was a trash in, trash out, get in, get out type of computer person. For me, my head was always logical. And when you are in the people's industry, that has to be developed into understanding the psychology of each client. So the first year, I remember I was trying to pass through computers, still reading about computers and trying to become a realtor. And that was probably the main challenge. And the second challenge is that I did that during my first year of a divorce, plus 2, 4, and 6-year-old, 3 kids that I had at home. So basically, probably right now, if you ask me, I cannot say that actually it was challenging, because I was not under the realization that that was going on. So I just kept moving, and I learned the ropes of becoming a realtor. And someday I decided that IT for me was not going to be my current life, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a pity in a way that a lot of women are pushed out from the market and their careers that they're in due to circumstances like having children and being a single parent. And a lot of the corporate work doesn't support uh, those transitions for women. So in that sense, it's for the better, because now you're the business owner, and you put your time and your have the flexibility, and you have the opportunity to make even more money. However, it's also unfair because you had to leave a good lucrative career in IT. So do you think there are certain things that the corporate world could change in order to support women better? And if that was the case in your time, do you think like how different your career would be right now? Where do you see yourself in IT world?
So basically, I'll tell you this story that will probably comprise what you just said. Unfair, probably yes, but sometimes the circumstances put us on at different stages on our lives, and those circumstances also creates in our character the ability to adapt to the changes. Because remember, nothing is constant except change. And that realization as women, especially because we have to juggle basically motherhood, which we cannot change, and the fact that we have to be and perform the best in our jobs. So basically, when I was in IT one day, and I told you this story, I had to make a decision crossing the Wilson Bridge because the server went down. And that's one of the issues, especially in this country. We are so immersed into working that we put 24 hours to make sure that the job is done. And then I had to make a decision. Either I stay fixing up that server or I go home, because I had a newborn that I was nursing and I had to be at 6 at home. So I made a decision to call the other project manager that I was working with, and he actually took over. And then is when I realized that being a mom, being in IT, and there's so much pressure working as a project manager for the government, it was something that basically was not going to work for me, because I also gave the realization that when you have children, you have a responsibility because they demand and they deserve your time while you are raising them. One day, like 2 years ago, my kids are gone in college, and now I can have more of my time to do and develop my career and my enterprise here. But yes, the challenge is that right now, for instance, even though the equal rights allow women to work, we're still getting paid less. And also, we do not have like 6 months of maternity leave.
Right.
We cannot just tell somebody, listen, the server is down, I have to be home. Your boss probably will not understand it, because right now the society is not built out under the fact that women also, we are really we are a very concise part of the human race. We are the ones who are actually making the future of the race, because motherhood is only developed and done by women. So until we change that mindset that women are working less because they take too much days off, unless we change the mindset that we are not good for a certain type of jobs, unless we change that mindset, women are always have to struggle, because we need to balance both that are part of our self nature.
Right. And it is sad to see that there's still a lot of stereotypes in terms of what jobs women can do and what jobs they can't do. And a lot of times this is unfair to both of the parents when they are taking leave to care for their children, because usually people expected more from women, and therefore they think, the women would not be as effective and successful at their jobs. So obviously you did it all, so you can tell us more about uh, what advice would you give to working parents, especially those who do the 9 to 5 when they are constrained with a schedule?
Well, I started with a schedule that was not 9 to 5 as a realtor when I moved from IT, a 9 to 5 job, which actually when I was on a 9 to 5 job, it was complicated because I had to get up early to be on time, and at the same time make sure that the kids have everything in the morning, breakfast, and getting pack their lunches and everything. And then when I moved into my self-employed type of business, which is real estate, it was probably the same. It's just time management. So basically, the way I did it is I'm flexible. I'm a flexible person that if tomorrow I have to change something, I do it. And I am okay with that. But at the same time, for instance, I work with my kids as part of they looking at me of what I'm doing work-wise. And I told them, listen, when I say this, it's like you have to be quiet because I am with clients. So every time I will do this, and I will do this, the Latino style, they will be quiet because they knew that mom will be with the client. So I work with them. At the same time, what I did is 6 p.m. every day for 18 years. I never missed dinner with them. And my cell phone will never be on my dining room. Nobody, even the kids, when they grew up, I had to teach them. Yesterday, I said, cell phones out, because I cannot eat with cell phones. So I did those 2 hours, 6 to 8, for them. I cooked for them. They cooked with me. I had to check what they have to do next day. So it's more like little clusters during the day that you put together. Some are work-oriented, some are family-oriented, and there is another one that you cannot forget, is yourself. Maria's time, Anar's time, your time. What do you like to do? It's only 1 hour that you like to run outside a week, or maybe an hour that you like to do yoga. Find it, because that will be good for your self. You don't get overwhelmed, basically, because you're doing something that you like. So basically, we need to be in different multitasking, and at the same time being flexible.
And being focused at some task for that specific time. I love that, Maria, because I really love these conversations with my friends and colleagues, because we, dig up the things that people write book about. And for example, this concept of doing scheduling, clustering time and devoting time specifically to one task at a time. It's been written in a very famous book called Indistractable by Nir Eyal. And it's just a recent book. So Maria Delgado has found this method Like 20 years ago, and she's been doing and living her life just like that. There you go.
So basically, I want to show
Mhm.
you this. And it's an old paper. Look, I found it the other day when I was organizing my desk. And basically, what I am trying to tell you is that when I received training on how to do lead generation and work with clients and use my day and my week in my work, because I have tasks to do, clients to do, look at the yellow ones. Okay, everything
Right.
that is yellow means basically I have to get up early to take care of the kids to school and take them to school. I have to pick them up at 3 here.
Mhm.
And then this is my schedule for dinner. And look,
Right.
out of the 6 days, I usually had Saturdays off. Everything that you see in yellow basically is family. That's
Mhm.
it. Family or activities or sports. So when they gave me this, I said, and I actually thought it's nice, but it's not going to work for me because I have to figure out where I'm going to put my kids around.
Right.
So
Mhm.
it's just a matter of sitting down to a piece of paper or a computer if you like software productivity applications, and just try to visualize how to put together those activities
Yeah.
around your 24 hours, because you do have 24 hours. That's it.
Yeah, and it's a very valuable, very important thing to notice that 24 hours, everyone has 24 hours. So what you do in those 24 hours is going to set you apart, and is going to bring that value and the difference for you and your career and your life. And I know that you are still very busy, and even though your children has graduated
Gone.
high school and already gone to college. I think I wanted to just say that it's already a good KPI of a successful mom. So that means that if you do have like devote your time every day, at least 2 hours to do dinners without cell phones, and you give them the time that they deserve, and you schedule things around them, this is something that gonna make really happy successful kids at the end, because all of her children gone to really nice universities and doing great with their studies. So it's a great thing. But now you're also volunteering your time. I know that you're the president of National Association for Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. So I wanted to ask you to share some of your experience there and lessons learned from building the community.
NAHREP is an association that was built for 25 years ago. And the idea was to put together realtors who help Hispanics to acquire home ownership. So I loved the mission, and that's why I joined as a volunteer. So for me, 3 things I probably have learned. I've been a president of the DC chapter for 2 years. So I've been through the beginning of learning how to do it. The association is extremely organized. There are policies and there are procedures we follow. For me, I have learned leadership, because we are right now 11 board members, part of the board of directors. And what I really need to do is to make sure to understand what is the contribution they are also giving to the chapter. And I have to lead that. I have to make sure that there are people who are connectors, people who are the doers, people who are just there, but they don't put the time or the effort. And once you identify that, the association has given me the ability to learn how to also distribute tasks to others, but at the same time, make sure that everything gets done.
All
And,
right.
and yes, I put my third task as a volunteer part of that schedule. So I know that when I have NAHREP activities or videos, I probably will not put clients on that day because I know I have to focus on doing specifically actions for that. So basically, it's a good experience, but we always need to remember that volunteers don't have the time. We have the heart to do it. So it's something else that you put it on your list, and it's better not to complain because it's something that is a volunteer job.
Yes.
It's been amazing. I just really learned character skills, basically.
I like that how you put people in certain categories. And I wonder, what do you do with the people who like don't do anything?
Well, basically, and that's probably about in any company, any manager will have at least 20 or 30% of people who actually take all your time and they do the lesser. The independent ones, usually they don't require so much time. And this is actually a study. 20 to 30% of the group are the ones that are the most needy and sometimes the ones that need do lesser in terms of productivity. So in our case, it's a volunteer. So I will have a talk to them and I will tell them that we need this and that. And probably we will basically tell them, you're probably better to be part of the membership, but not because we need people who really
Deliver. Yeah.
deliver, is accountable. So being a volunteering job, basically the same way as everything, I did the same when you open a new business, for instance. You need to be slow to hire and quick to fire. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's amazing. All these interesting, important lessons learned from being in business and being in the associations that are supportive of the business but don't pay direct money, um, because they serve the communities that you care about. So the mission is very important.
Yeah.
And I think is one of the topics that we could also explore is your experience as an immigrant. How did you decide to come to the US? How was your first years here? What was the most difficult thing to adapt to?
So I came to the States with no cell phones, no text, and no GPS back in 1988. Everything was probably email, and not even that. It was probably email came 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working for the Inter-American Development Bank back then, and I got my BA as a teacher in education. And one day, all of a sudden, I said, I'm going to try to live for a year in the States and try to get a job in Washington in one of the international organizations. So I was very lucky because actually I found a job first for the Pan American Health Organization for a temporary timing. And then I worked for Intelsat for 13 years, which actually opened up my sense of global community. I've been in contact for these 30 years with people from every place in the world. And I have learned places, even yours, and I know to the diversity and the contact with them have helped me to actually increase my acceptance about how people working together, regardless of where they come from, is so important. And basically, I learned English here. And I think one of the keys when you're an immigrant is to get an education. So it's true, we have to work. It's true, we are married. It's true, we have kids. I remember I used to go from 6 to 11 and get my master's degree for 3 years. And being in education, I had to take the bridge program. I mean, I did everything that they asked me to do it in order to get my degree. And I do it in between working and being married. Back then I didn't have kids, but it was the blizzard of 1996. And I was 8 months pregnant of my first child. And still I went to take Unix classes at American University in the middle of the blizzard. And everybody told me that I was crazy because I can do it for the summer. I finished my master's degree on April 12th, and Nicholas was born April 19th. And going back, that decision was probably because of that being an immigrant, being persistent, being trying to make it, because this is a country that somebody is actually allowing you to develop the opportunities. So you just have to do it. Later, I realized that when I have my kid, it was the best decision. I got my diploma because 6 months later, I knew I was not going to finish up. He took all my time, all my efforts as a mom. So those little the extra mile, that's what probably we all need to go. We need to go into the extra mile and to become also more open to the global approach of living as a community.
Yes, I love that, because same as you, when came to America, I met so many different people and cultures, and it just only opens up more opportunity and more understanding to understand really that they are all very diverse and different, but at the same time very similar. It's same people everywhere. So that's really, really wonderful. I love the little nuggets of wisdom that you sprinkle all
Oh,
over this
really?
discussion. It's really great. I'm wondering what kind of books and movies that you've read that had made a big impact on your life and the way you think.
Movies, I am probably not much into it for a while. I watch movies just for fun and entertainment when I have the time. Usually, also maybe another nugget, another little nugget of wisdom is that living a life that is so important among raising kids and among raising a family, and most of us, we have husbands or wives, and also at the same time trying to become in our professional life successful, we probably need to cut certain habits, and one is to cut off TV. And yes, and also if it serves the purpose even for the kids growing up, especially now in the time of iPads, I still believe that taking them to the library and reading is 100 better than giving them an iPad for 3 hours, because they will develop in their brains, certain abilities that right now are set into just a screen. For books, I read, and I read a lot, and probably some people are doing the Audible, some people are doing reading while driving, and some people are actually reading real books. There is one that back in the time when I was in Keller Williams, that probably people will like to try, is The One Thing. And The One Thing is actually a very practical, realistic book about how to do time management and how being, like what people say, multitasking. Sometimes you do multitasking and you do half of each. At the same time, when you do one thing, you actually get the results done. So this is the one book that I get. The other one that I liked it a lot is this one, Think, Grow, and Reach. Think and Grow Rich. This book is amazing. I lost it and I keep buying it. And this was actually from let's see, this one is the 1960s. He wrote this like 50 years, 60 years ago.
Yes, it's a very old classic, yeah.
It's a classic, but it's so interesting because when you adapted what he says to the nowadays life, it's still working. So this is a very good book to actually try to understand how to become successful, but at the same time, how to become also a human being while you try to do that.
Right.
Yes, I don't know, maybe, well, there is one that I actually read it. And in my case, it's prospective, fanatical prospecting. Even though I have 18 years of experience, this book I open up once in a while when I forgot to do it, because we need to understand who are our customers, who are we serving, who are our clients, and keep trying to basically throughout the years, we need to go back and learn again, because sometimes we go just flowing with the daily activities. And then one year you realize that, oh my God, I need to be stronger on this. I need to be doing that. Once a year in December, I actually sit down and I do a lot of pencil and paper, and I have to do this for 2020. I plan my next year. Usually I don't do it. Whatever I planned in 2019 for 2020, gone. I need to go back and see what actually happened then, that it didn't happen because of the circumstances we live. But at
Yes.
least you start from planning your year, planning your month, planning your day. And that's
Yes.
so, and then be flexible, be happy, be flexible. If you change it, it's okay.
Yes. I'm glad that you brought up the 2020. That has been a shock for all of us. However, I'm also happy to hear that for real estate, it wasn't as bad as 2008. So, what are the kind of things that the rules that you employed for yourself in 2020 to be able to still go afloat and keep delivering and selling and closing the deals?
Well, in real estate, we realized, first of all, I was lucky enough to be considered an essential worker. And once we got in March, I had people moving into hotels because they were just sold the house the week before, and then all of a sudden we are living a pandemic. So basically, I never stopped working. Also, I believe this is a health crisis, not a real estate crisis. So what happened is that the interest rates went so low that we have buyers all the time. And we took precautions, and we go by policies that we take it as a realtor, like gloves, masks, cleanliness, distance. So without taking into consideration whatever is the idea of it's right or not, we were always into the being extra careful for everybody and our clients. So basically, that's the external situation that helped me to continue working. However, I didn't know that it was going to be like this. So what happened in March is that one day I realized it and I said, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And I think I was overworking more and getting more because I didn't know what was going to happen in 3 months, 6 months. So I have right now a pipeline that is bigger than even years before. But I think it's because I started working, getting up earlier, trying to get more clients. So I went faster because of the situation. So basically, the idea that I have is that the attitude that you take doesn't have anything to do with exterior reality. It's really in your mindset where you put the time, when you put the thoughts and the action to basically overcome situations that are not in our hands. And we have to overcome situations every day, every year. Family oriented, when we have situations that we didn't expect, a layoff, natural disasters, issues. So that preparation is just keep the mindset to be on top of the hill, basically, when
Yeah.
things happen.
Yeah, and go that extra mile, like you said. So that really helps to prepare for the uncertainty, to cover your losses ahead of time if you like anticipate something. And I'm really happy that you have a bigger pipeline than before. It's really amazing. And let's hope that 2021 will bring better circumstances to all of
The
us.
most, yeah.
Yeah, and you will be able to grow Hestia Realtors even bigger, and we will hear from you again. Thank you so much for your time, Maria, today.
Thank you so much, Anar. I really appreciated the opportunity. This year for all of us is just a test. And I think we are coming out of 2020 being better people. And we are going to help each other. And this is going to go one day, it's going to be over for us. So thank you so much. I really
Yes.
appreciate it. And this is nice, very nice of you to invite me to your podcast.
Thank you so much.